Don't be so dramatic. Just relax. Are you on your period? It's 2023, and we still live in a world where many people believe that a woman's period is a burden. As a woman, I have been asking myself the question, why do our periods define us so much? And more importantly, what does it actually mean to be a woman? Today, I invite you on a journey where we explore a new idea. What if I told you that the menstrual cycle is not a burden, but the greatest superpower? What if you could unleash a life of vitality, creativity, and harmony, all by syncing with your cycle? A lot of successful and incredible women I get to speak to every day are in pain. According to the US Department of Health and Human Services, over 90% of women experience some type of PMS symptoms such as pain, headaches, moodiness, and more. These symptoms affect our work, our relationship, and more importantly, our ability to live a meaningful life. Ladies, do you remember your first experience with your period? I certainly remember mine. I felt a mix of excitement and fear at the same time. Did this mean I was finally going to be a woman? One thing was certain. This would forever change my life in ways I couldn't yet imagine. From my mother and the women in my family, I learned that once you get your period, it becomes a significant part of your life. A challenge to be endured, sacrifices will have to be made. Unfortunately, I would get a heavy period from a young age. Like real heavy. So heavy that I would bleed through my clothes. I know, hearing this might make you feel uncomfortable. But you know what was even more uncomfortable? The pain that I was feeling. And you know what was even worse than that? The thought that this was absolutely not. But what if there was a way that would make this experience less painful and more manageable? How many of you have felt the same way? That you're told to just push through because you thought you had no other option. To just pop in the pain meds and move on. But let's take a step back here. Why did I think this was normal? It starts with how we're raised. We're conditioned to accept certain beliefs from an early age. Just don't make excuses or suck it up. These beliefs shape us, dictating what we consider right or wrong. They create the feeling of just obey the rules like everyone else. Essentially ignoring your body's signals. The first step to change is recognizing that we've been conditioned in the first place and questioning the truths we've been told. That can be hard. Have you ever thought that things can't change? Well, I'm here to tell you they can. And it starts with us. We can create a world where all women feel empowered to listen to their bodies. But until we can create that world, we need to address the big question. Have you been ignoring what your body is trying to tell you? The average American spends around 7 hours looking at screens each day. We are flooding our minds with information and a lot of noise. We're so busy checking social media that we forget to check in with ourselves. This disconnects us from the inner voice that knows intuitively what's best for us. Yet, why do we make this part of ourselves wrong? We suppress this incredible power. We're taught to be ashamed of it. As I look back at the conversations I had with my mother, it hurts me to know that she went through so much. Just like so many other women, she didn't have the knowledge we have today. My mom went through surgeries, battled fibroids, and dealt with cysts on her ovaries for so long. Eventually, her uterus was surgically removed. The very part that defined womanhood. It was taken away from her forever. It saddens me because I know it didn't have to be this way. But what's even worse is that right now, there are millions of women who also suffer. We're amazing at multitasking. We're amazing at getting it all done. And we're amazing at pretending that we're fine, aren't we? In fact, we're so good at it that we put our needs last. Have you ever felt like screaming, "Just give me a break"? The first time I felt I understood this concept of listening to my body and taking a break was when I had to make a decision not many people in my life supported. I was working in marketing, my first full-time job. I was filled with excitement. I thought this was going to be my dream career. 1 year later, it became clear to me that it was not. And it wasn't because I wasn't performing or because it was too much work. It was my body telling me it was time to leave. It was quite literally screaming at me. I thought something was wrong with me. This was one of the times my hormonal health was suffering like never before. And for the first time in my life, I decided to say no. No to this job. No to the people around me. And yes to myself. It might have been irrational. It might have not made sense to the people in my life. They actually told me I was making the wrong decision. But deep within, I just knew. I had to listen to my body. Now let me ask you this. Do you remember a time your body was trying to tell you something and you did not listen? And maybe that voice became louder and louder until you had no choice but to do something about it. And maybe you feel like this right now. Today is your opportunity to listen, to change that. Your body loves you. Your body only wants the best for you. So let me ask you this. What would be possible if you knew that your body loved you? It might feel like you're stuck with this pain forever. Many people believe having pain, PMS, fatigue, and other hormonal health issues is normal. It is not. This is your wake-up call. Imagine this, a few nights of bad sleep in a row. How do you feel? Irritable? Unfocused? Hangry? Ladies, when you're in that state, you know it's safer for people to keep their distance. Am I right? Yes. My partner knows too well. He carefully feeds me chocolate bars until I'm in a better mood. You know what I mean. Life without proper sleep sucks. The truth is, many women are doing this with their cycles too. Let's look at PMS, the so-called premenstrual syndrome, just before your period kicks in. You're irritable, anxious, depressed, bloated. I mean, come on. It's one hell of an emotional roller coaster ride. This is one of the toughest times of the month. The problem is, you push even more, you try to ignore it, and that makes it all worse. Welcome to your vicious cycle. I found myself stuck right there. That's when I was looking for a solution. And that is when I found out about birth control. I thought I was saved. My gynecologist gave me the green light, finally. My symptoms started to decrease. My skin cleared. All I had to do was just take one pill a day. Simple, right? After many years, my body had different plans. I stopped feeling like myself anymore, and I was so confused. I thought I'd tried something else this time. I stopped taking the pill, and that's when all hell broke loose. My skin broke out, my periods became irregular, my PMS unbearable. Then I tried different creams, doctors, medications, and I even went to energy healers. Nothing worked. I felt devastated. The more I tried to fix these issues, the worse they became. I mean, Jesus, come on, give me a break. How many people told you that birth control was the magic solution to your problems? Even a famous actress like Dakota Johnson, who has access to the best resources, struggled immensely with her cycle. She openly talks about her struggle with birth control, which leads me to the question, why do so many women have to suffer like this? What I realized is that no one ever really teaches women about their cycles in a way that is empowering. We are led to believe it isn't important. In school, I learned that your period comes once a month, among other annoying symptoms that no one really tells you how to deal with. It's basically just suck it up and don't make a big deal out of it, because how bad could it really be? What you're not told is that the intense pain you might experience is actually something that can be alleviated. What if you could end the suffering right now? Going through hormonal changes every single day is actually normal, and we can use those changes to our advantage. And the best part, it is absolutely empowering. There's an actual science of syncing with your cycle and embracing your cyclical nature. It is important to let go of the expectation that we should perform consistently every day. Recognizing and honoring our unique strengths in each phase is the key to thriving. This changes how we navigate through life. It will transform relationships, our careers, and it can even reduce your symptoms, like the hormonal imbalances, fatigue, and burnout. Every month, we go through 4 different phases during our menstrual cycle, which are called the follicular, ovulatory, luteal, and a menstrual phase. In each of those phases, our hormones fluctuate. Think of our hormones like a symphony, orchestrating our moods, our energy levels, and our sense of creativity. When we're in sync with our cycles, we not only improve our overall health, but our quality of life. The first stage of the cycle is called the follicular phase, or as I like to call it, the spring phase, right after your period. All your hormone levels start to increase, especially estrogen. This gives you a boost in energy and creativity. You feel happier and are more in control of your moods. That's when the hard things in life feel lighter. The second stage is called the ovulatory phase, or as I like to call it, the summer phase. Estrogen reaches its peak, you're the most fertile, and that wonderful surge in estrogen increases productivity and sharpens your focus. Ladies, that's when we feel like we can tackle anything. The third stage is called the luteal phase, or also fall phase. Now, progesterone, the other female sex hormone, will be the dominant hormone in women with a healthy cycle. If you experience high levels of stress, your progesterone levels might be lower, which might also explain why you have PMS during this time. It is important to slow down and listen to your body. If you don't, it might feel like you're giving from an empty cup, which can make your PMS symptoms even worse. The fourth and final stage is called the menstrual phase, or also winter phase. All your hormone levels reach their lowest point. This is the perfect time to slow down and prioritize self-care. Now, if you're a busy bee like me, find time to take regular short breaks in a day. All it takes is 5 minutes during the day to step outside, feel the sun on your skin, and take a deep breath, or even a 10-minute nap can make a big difference. Ladies, stop beating yourself up for not being your best all the time. Learn how to embrace these times of change. The more you do, the more powerful, creative, joyful, and at peace you will feel. And most importantly, you will feel a deeper sense of connection to yourself. Can you imagine a world where all women feel empowered to live in sync with their cycles, this world is possible. And it starts with every single woman in this room and listening to this message right now. What if we could take small actions today to feel just 10% more connected to ourselves as women? In fact, here are 3 things you can start doing today. 1, prioritize self-care and holistic well-being. Listen to your body. What is it telling you? All it takes is 5 minutes in the morning to simply sit, be still, and listen. It may sound very simple, but I promise it makes a big difference. 2, build intimate connections with other women. Spread the word about this topic. Create spaces for women that uplift and empower one another. Talk about it with your family, your friends, and even your colleagues at work. This helps to build trust and acceptance so that we normalize how we really feel. 3, give yourself grace. Remember, this is not about perfection, but about being kind to yourself. Take things one step at a time. Change can be difficult, and unlearning will require your patience. We are here today to give birth to a new idea. We have been taught that our cycle is a burden. We have been made wrong about the way we really feel about our cycle. Today can be a new beginning for us all. One where we celebrate our nature of who we are as women. And so, referring back to my question on what it means to be a woman. It means to embrace our true nature, sync with our cycle, so we can tap into our full potential and create a better world for everyone. It means to see the menstrual cycle as a gateway to unlocking the wisdom that lies within you. It means to stop fighting ourselves and accept this superpower. Being a woman means listening to your body. That is the most empowering change you can make. Thank you.